Hey guys, welcome to another one. Today I'm reacting to some business advice from TikTok. So this is going to be an interesting one because I believe there are some wild TikTok advice, for business owners out there. So yeah, let's jump right in.
Yeah, so the worst piece of marketing advice I remember getting was focus on the branding and the clients will follow. And I remember building this website, following that advice for 6 months, making sure my website had all the information on it that I needed, all the right pages, nice graphics, nice logo, and then I'm sitting there twiddling my thumbs waiting for the clients to come. It was terrible advice. You actually don't need a website. I made my first $1 million online before I ever had a homepage. Branding is great, but it comes second to traffic generation and learning sales funnels.
Right, right. Well, that is an interesting one. I don't know what kind of branding he's talking about, but I think what he's referring to is visual identity, or logos and colors and flyers and the rest. But one thing is, I don't believe him, or no, not that I don't believe him, but I don't agree with him. Okay, to start a business, or to go about your business or to do business, the first thing, the foundation that you need is branding. And when we talk about this branding is not your visual identity or the logos and colors and flyers that we all seem to believe that means branding. When we talk about this branding is your core foundation, that has the questions that you ask yourself, the questions that your business must answer, like the who you are, the what you do, the who you serve, what you can offer them. That is your branding. That forms the core foundation of your brand. That forms determines who who your target audience is, what problem you're solving, or what solutions you are offering to your customers. That is branding, and that comes before you make any sales. So he's saying that he made $1 million without a brand. First off, a website is not a brand, because he said he built a website and, well, he made $1 million and all that. A website is not a brand. Whatever $1 million that he made, he still had a message that he was putting out. He still had a fair idea, or he still had an ideal audience or ideal customer that he was targeting, or he had a target audience he was targeting. He could never had found these out without a brand. He could never have found these out without branding. So yes, he did have a brand, but I think his definition or his idea of what a brand is what is somewhat amiss. But he did have a brand. Branding comes before any other thing, because branding guides you on what to do. Branding guides you on the things you're supposed to do as a business, your values, your missions, your visions, who you serve, what you're offering them, your solutions, and all that. So yeah, I don't believe, or I don't side with him saying that you don't need a brand, and branding comes second. No, branding comes first. Let's put visual identity aside, but visual identity is the full stop at the end of your branding process. That is the full stop at the end of your branding process. But you need to build a brand before you start doing anything else, because if you don't have a brand, what are you marketing? If you don't have a message, what are you marketing? If you don't have an ideal customer, or you don't have an ideal customer persona, who are you selling to? All these form part of your branding process. So yes, he did have a brand. He's just maybe a bit confused. Let's move on to the second.
Lack of money, it's never, ever, ever a problem. I am rich not because of my money. I am rich because of my skills. Closing skill, I believe, it's one of the most important, if not the most important skills you need to master if you want to be rich. When you're talking to customers, you're closing. When you're talking to vendors, trying to persuade them to give you better terms, guess what? You are closing. One of the skills that changed my life is public speaking. Ask yourself, are you afraid to speak to groups? Do you know how to present your ideas to?
Yes, I do agree with him. Money should never be a problem, or money shouldn't be the problem if you have a skill. When you have a skill, that is everything. When you have a skill, money is not necessarily an issue, because the skill set is what you'd sell to bring the money. So yeah, I do agree with him on this one. Let's move on to the next one.
So looking back now, the dumbest piece of advice I ever entertained was to quit a 9-to-5 and pursue a business or pursue a passion. Here's why. Unless you guys...
Yes, this is so common. This is so common these days. Every single person out there, especially on Instagram and TikTok and the rest, are saying quit your 9-to-5 and start a business. That is so wrong. That is absolutely wrong.
Zero responsibilities, life just isn't set up that way. You got a car payment, a cell phone, rent, mortgage. Those things just don't stop because you're in a transition period. Better advice, stick with it even though you hate it. Then use a percentage of your income to fund your endeavors and live like you got zero in the bank. Now, let's say your business takes off and you're making the same as what you would at your job. Stick with it even though you hate it. Because now you're making $3,500 at your job and your business is making $3,500. You just doubled your income while limiting your risk. Now, once that $3,500 doubles again, then you can consider leaving. Things to think about.
Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. You don't need to quit your 9-to-5 to start a business. You see, I always believe in using what you have, and to what you have can get you what you want. I don't understand, or I don't know why most people, especially most influencers out there, will tell you quit your 9-to-5 and start a business. One thing they don't tell you is, you think living from salary to salary is hard? Try living from invoice to invoice. That is the pain. Before you transition from a 9-to-5 to a business, make sure that you have a solid foundation. Make sure you have that financial cushion to lay on. Make sure that something is going on, because the transition from a 9-to-5 into a full-time business owner, a full-time entrepreneur, should be a slow one. Okay, you transition from a 9-to-5er to an entrepreneur. But before you move into an entrepreneur, there has to be something already existing, to provide for you before you transition. You don't just quit your job one day and say, I'm starting a business. That is the dumbest financial decision you can make for yourself. One of the dumbest financial decisions you can make for yourself, because it is absolutely going to ruin you. The gurus are not going to tell you that. They're going to tell you, oh no, quit your job and buy my course. I'm telling you, do not buy the course, do not quit your job. Use what you have, until what you have can get you what you want. Be in that 9-to-5 until you can raise enough money, until your business is stable, before you decide to quit your 9-to-5. Otherwise, yes, it's going to be a completely different story for you. Moving on.
Can I start a business where I have an idea but I don't have money? No money, no business. You can't do business without money. You have to have big money or small money, but you must have some money. Don't ask father for money. Don't ask father-in-law's money. Don't even look for investors' money. Make some money. Start somewhere. Work for 10 years. In that, you frugally save money, and that money, if you start a business, least likely you will be failing. There are excellent chances that you will be a very successful businessman. May sound late, but that's the best way to make an attempt. Listen to this carefully. Don't burn your father's money over chair. Don't burn your father-in-law's money. You will lose respect. Don't burn investors' money. They will kill you. Make your own money and get into business. You will make tons of money.
Right. Well, that was a weird one. So capital, okay? Capital comes from the Latin word caput, which means head. You can start a business without financial capital, especially if you go into a service-based business and not product-based business. A service-based business, what you're selling is your skill, not a product. You don't need a huge amount of money. You don't need a large sum of money to go into a service-based business, because that is what's holding a lot of people back. Videos like this, I mean, for certain businesses, yes, you absolutely need a capital, but for most businesses that is service-based, you don't need a capital. All you need is your skill set and the ability to connect, the ability to reach out, the ability to position yourself as a solution provider for your ideal customers. So you find out what problems your customers are facing, and you position yourself as a solution to those problems. That is where the money comes. You do not need a huge amount of money. You don't need a huge capital to get any of these things sorted or to work on any of these things. No, you do not. Well, that is it, guys. I'm ending today's episode here. It was a fun one. We are definitely going to react to more of these videos in the coming weeks. So make sure you leave a like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Peace.